Good afternoon, YouTube. It's your boy, Ferocious Mgtow. I'm on one of my drives. I'm on my way back from Virginia. I had to go to Hampton, Virginia, drop off a load. So now it was a dedicated load, so now I'm going back empty. I love going back empty because I get to really drive, okay? No liquid in here, I can really drive. So I said, okay, let me come at you guys with something good today. And I said, let me go on Facebook. I took my red pills today. I tried to listen to 4 or 5 different YouTubers that's red pill guys and Mgtow guys to kind of, you know, look at what they're saying, look at my experience, look at the experiences of others that I know that's around me in my inner circle or my bigger circle. And so what I've been noticing is women are so desperate to get married. Now I kind of realize just now, that the reason why they don't want the married cuck to hang out with his single buddies no more, because they are truly afraid that he will wake the married husband up, the cuck, that he may wake this guy up, and then there goes a meal ticket, right? Because in the last, I want to say 2 years, in the last 2 years, 3 of my inner circle guys have gotten married. Now, I'm looking at myself and I'm thinking, like, get married. Now, by these being my number one guys, you know, I've turned them on to Sandman. Who else have I turned them on to? Turned them on to Sandman, and a few other well-known YouTubers, red pill guys. So at least they knew what they were getting themselves into. Try to get in front of this car guy. They're gonna let me. Thank you for being a decent human being. But anyway, I turned them on to Sandman, David Carroll, Ram 313, 513, whatever you say, and a few other brothers. One of the, I can't think of everybody's name right now. It escapes me out, so forgive me. But I turned them on, so they watched it. They binge watched it. You know, they just sat up watching it. So I'm thinking, like, okay. They were so afraid, I guess, by what they saw and what they heard. I even turned them on to the manipulated man. And they, you know, we got the audio version. So they listened to the whole thing. We even discussed it a couple times. And yet it seemed like they ran out and got married as soon as we got through talking about it, right? And here's the irony, guys. Each one of these guys did not dare invite me to the wedding. I'm gonna let that sink in for a minute. Now these are my number one guys. Did not invite me to the wedding. So that means they know that I'm red pill as it gets. And so they knew, let me not invite this guy, because I know how he feels about women and female nature. And he wouldn't approve of this, so let me not invite him. But guess what? All the other blue pill cucks that we know together was invited. But of course they're gonna champion it. Oh yeah, go right ahead, man. Congratulations, you know, you found you a good one, you know. She's a unicorn, you know. She's a unicorn, you know. She's an AWOL, All women are like that. All women ain't like that. You know what I mean? And I'm knowing in my mind, just by the few times that we talk about these women and their situation, I can hear the manipulations being performed on them, but they didn't see it. And I was trying to point it out. They were like, "No, that ain't what it is." I'm like, "Yeah, that's exactly what it is, dude." Okay? When I ask you, and keep in mind, guys, I asked each one of these guys, why are you deciding to get married now? You know, you're damn near 50. Why now? So they say, well, everybody got to do it once, right? And so this is the reason that you give me for why you should get married? I'm like, wow. I said, okay. So if it don't work out, well, if it don't work out, I never do it again. I'm like, well, you never said anything about love, companionship, building an empire together, building a family, having children, building generational wealth, world travel. You didn't starting a business. You didn't bring up none of these things. All you said was, everybody got to do it once, right? And I said, this is your justification for getting married. So that lets me know that you basically being coerced, pardon me guys, coerced to get married. She's threatening to leave you. She's basically giving you an ultimatum. Marry me or I'm out. And so now she done got your hormones, you know, and your, not hormones, but your endorphins firing, and you want that dopamine rush when she's sucking on you, and when she laying up with you, you want that dopamine rush, and now you think that you can't do without it. And so now when she puts the ultimatum to you, when y'all having pillow talk, you fall victim to it, and you don't even know why you're getting married. So when somebody that's logical, a man, asks you why you doing this, and you tell me some crazy answer like everybody got to do it once, I'm like, wow. So my thoughts on these guys and on guys like this is now I have to like fall back, because they're pretty much a mindless drone of her now. You know, all their individuality, all their testosterone, all of their man logic, all of their abilities, all of the great ideas that they will come up with, and all of the fun that we could have had. Now I have to take a back seat. I have to like fall all the way back, because these guys won't be allowed, listen to my language, fellas, they will not be allowed to hang around me. Because why? Ferocious Mgtow don't have to answer to nobody. I can come and go as I please, spend my money as I please, bring ideas to reality whenever I choose. I can go where I want, jump on a plane anytime and just go where I want. I don't have to answer to nobody. I could go buy what I want, and they can't do that now. So now I pretty much got to get new buddies, temporarily speaking, because eventually I think they're going to come to their senses, and then I don't think they're going to be able to continue this, because the things that these women are making these guys do, man, is just bizarre. I mean, literally bizarre. My one buddy, me and him was gonna hook up. He's my mechanic for my truck. So you always want to be friends with a good mechanic. It only makes sense. You know what I mean? So we were going to get into some real estate partnerships, buy some properties, rehab them, sell them, split the proceeds. He gets married out of the blue. I wasn't invited, of course not. And now we were going to use basically a combination. I was going to use my credit because I have over 800. And he was going to come with more of the cash. But he was going to take the cash from his home that he had that was almost paid for. So if he had took out a HELOC loan, he probably could have pulled out $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 for a low interest rate. We were going to take that along with my credit, and I was going to put up a little cash myself, and we were going to just buy dilapidated houses, fix them up, and sell them. But now that he's married, guess what? That's no longer a viable idea now. Okay? And it's not for the reason that you guys may think. I know you're probably thinking that she just probably said, no, you can't do that. You know, you got a family now, you can't take risks, that type of thing. No. He took the house and transferred the title over to her. Her only. I'm gonna give it a few minutes for that to soak in, fellas. He gave her a house that was almost paid for. I think he had like 2 more years of payments to pay on the house because he was paying like an extra payment every something. I forgot how he was doing it, but he was paying an extra payment every so often. And so he almost had it paid for. Then he gets married, and then all of a sudden, when I start pressing him about, okay, man, let's start getting into this real estate, he tells me about the situation with the house. And I'm like, what would possess you to do something like that? And the words that was coming out of his mouth did not even sound like him. I'm like, huh? Tell me how that makes sense. And he like, well, you know, I was thinking, you know, I got a dangerous job. You're a mechanic. You don't even drive the truck. You work on them as they sit still. So what, an engine is gonna fall on your head? You go drop a wrench on your face or something? You go drop a wrench on your skull, it's gonna kill you? What the fuck are you talking about danger? Well, you know, I'm just saying, man, you know, sometimes I gotta go pick the truck up from sometimes they break down on the road, and I have to go get them in the tow truck and bring them back to the shop to work on them. And, you know, I'm on the side of the road.